What's up, guys? We're back on another video. XXXTentacion killer is free now from prison and protected by the state. Bro, it feels like 10 years plus. It's been a long time, bro. I can't imagine being locked up, all that for 50K, bro. Bro, they could all have individually 70K. If they save 10K a year, if you look at the biggest robberies, I said it in a video before. They went in, got what they needed, told the cops they needed pizza, and then they left. And then when the cops went into the bank, they realized it was fake guns. They didn't hurt nobody. They didn't use any real weapons. Not one person was hurt in that robbery. It took them a couple, maybe 5+ years to get caught, but the sentence wasn't as bad. When they sentenced them, it was not bad because it was not real guns and they didn't hurt nobody. But they still got years, but nowhere near. No, you took out somebody for 50K. That was unnecessary, bro. That was unnecessary, bro. At all, bro.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, and I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're gonna be speaking on one of XXXTentacion's killers being released from Florida State Prison. One of the saddest deaths in hip hop was that of rising superstar XXXTentacion. Gunned down at only 20 years old in a robbery turned homicide, his autopsy report would detail his painful death. He was shot in the shoulder, the bullet piercing muscle, vessels, and his lung before settling in his chest. Another shot through his upper back at the base of his neck traveled down into his chest, and the fatal shot fired into the side of his neck, breaking a bone in his spine.
No, that's crazy. It was 2019 when this happened. 2019, like 2018, month 6, 18, day 18th, the 18th. Wow.
Breaking a rib and destroying every muscle in between. He bled out eternally. The video of his murder, as well as him laying lifeless in his BMW, would be seen millions of times through social media. A family was shattered, his fans were devastated, and a son was left never being able to know his father. The killers bragged, posting pictures and videos with the $50,000 they'd taken from him. They'd be arrested fast, sentenced one by one, and a Florida judge would deliver one of the coldest speeches, followed by a life sentence for the actual trigger man.
Was quote right. You turned a robbery into a murder. And on that day, when you stood there and fired that weapon, you didn't just end one life. You effectively ended 5 lives, including your own. Like I just said, you need to understand that when we say life in Florida State Prison, that means life. It is necessarily without parole. Florida abolished parole. You know, as the song says, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. You will spend the rest of your life in prison. From here, you will go and be placed in a cell that has a stainless steel slab that's attached to the wall. That's your bed. And next to it is a stainless steel sink and a stainless steel toilet. That's the furniture that you have in that cell. You'll spend every hour and every day and every week and every year of your life in that cell. And one day, they'll come and open up that cell in the morning and you'll have passed on. And only on that day will you have served your sentence.
I ain't gonna cap, that is definitely chilling, but at the same time, it's like there was no need for you to use that weapon, bro. No need. In fact, you shouldn't have no bullets in that thing, bro, at all. I do remember that X was fighting to not take his money, so then the person who triggered it got frustrated to let it go, and then that's when he did it, I guess. It's like, bro, 50K, bro.
Hey guys, right now we have Crazy Work merch now, red colorway as you can see. Now we have
a blue colorway, crazy work. Now you guys see the white colorway. If you guys want to cop right now, link in the description. All right, let's go back to the video. Let's go.
Serve your sentence.
Well, one of his killers has just been released from Florida State Prison, and it wasn't in a body bag, it was on probation. Robert Allen was one of 4 responsible for the killing. He can be seen on surveillance video spotting the rapper inside of the motorsports store he was shopping at alongside his co-defendant Daedric Williams. Daedric would help plan the robbery, acting as the driver who blocked in X's car, preventing him from leaving the parking lot. Trayvon Newsom was one of the gunmen who approached X's vehicle, and
A part of me want to say he could have just drove off right here. Cause you gotta think about it. I mean, by the time the guy has a pistol already in the car, so it's like, bro, it's too late right here. But it's like,
co-defendant Daedric Williams. Daedric would help plan the robbery, acting as the driver who blocked in X's car, preventing him from leaving the parking lot.
it probably happened so fast. So it's like, man, in the moment, he probably didn't think much of it. But like, when you're in that situation of somebody pointing you a weapon, it's like, bro.
Trayvon Newsom was one of the gunmen who approached X's vehicle, and Michael Boatwright was the shooter who killed X as Trayvon grabbed a bag of money as he was dying. While Robert Allen wasn't one of the 2 gunmen who confronted X, Florida law treats everyone involved in a violent felony as responsible, especially if someone is killed. Robert would be sentenced first after pleading guilty to 2nd-degree murder and robbery with the gun. Part of his plea deal was to cooperate and testify against his 3 co-defendants, which he did.
Point him out and identify him in the courtroom as to who you're referring to that made some comments to you.
Second row. Yeah, we do some.
Who's that in 2 of 5?
I can pull up.
Who's in states 8? 5 of 5?
Michael Boatwright and me.
It was sentencing day for Robert Allen, the 4th suspect in the robbery and murder of rapper XXXTENTACION, who confessed to his role and implicated the other 3 who were convicted.
Please forgive me, I'm so sorry.
Robert Allen, the 4th man involved in rapper XXXTENTACION's murder and robbery, spoke during his sentencing hearing Wednesday, saying he was sorry while asking the judge to spare his life.
Today I plead to the court for my own life and not to be sent to state prison, because that was their destiny.
Last summer, Allen pleaded guilty to 2nd-degree murder and testified for the state. Judge Michael Usen saying he's thought long and hard about Allen's sentence.
I do believe you are not the same person who I arraigned 5 years ago. I genuinely believe that you are sorry for what you have done and not merely sorry for yourself.
In exchange, he was sentenced to 7 years in prison with roughly 5 years credit for time in jail. So in all actuality, he'd only have to serve 2 years in prison. Because of the high-profile nature of this case, his locations would be filed in secrecy, meaning unlike every other inmate in Florida prisons, you could not find out what prison he was being held in. You couldn't find out his official entry date, and you can't actually know his official release. Robert Allen was now being protected by the state of Florida as a high-value witness. But it wasn't just 7 years he was sentenced to. It was a split sentence, 7 years in with 20 to be served on probation, totaling out to 27 years under state control. Filings within the Broward County courts would show Robert was also granted permission for interstate travel, as he was now working towards getting his CDL and driving trucks across the country. As for the other convicted killers, all 3 took the case to trial, and all 3 were sentenced to die within Florida State Prison by means of a life sentence. They flaunted what was stolen, and the trigger man would even go as far as dissing X and his son from inside of prison, leading to fans contacting the facility and getting him placed in confinement. It's likely all 3 of these men will die inside of cages and concrete walls, while Robert Allen will remain protected by the state for the next 20 years as he moves on with his life.
But this is Florida, so if you like, if you take somebody out, it's like, bro, that's automatically life. Bro. That's crazy. Since the day that happened, if they all worked and stack up 10K a year, they probably could have individually 70K plus and more. Like even if they get a normal job, bro, they gonna touch that way more, bro. Normal 9 to 5, you're gonna touch more than 50K. They ain't thought about it that way. They just thought we're gonna get this money and we're gonna do whatever we want.
About this is a clear-cut situation of somebody cooperating, someone essentially snitching, and it works out for them. He got minimal time. The majority of his time was spent in the county jail. Minimal prison time. He's on 20 years of probation. I highly doubt that this kid's gonna violate in any way. And he's free. Becoming a truck driver, he's gonna be driving all over the US. With that type of job, he's not gonna be on social media. He's not gonna be seen. He's not gonna run into X fans. People are gonna feel a lot of ways that he shouldn't have the freedom he has. But at the same time, he was a major component in putting away the other 3 people. The main one, Michael Boatwright, who fired the shots. I don't think any of them intended for this to be a homicide. But this dude was just a loose cannon, and you can tell by the way he was dissing X and his son from inside of prison, he's just fried. But the way they flaunted the money after knowing he was killed shows the same level of no remorse. X was a rising superstar. This kid would have went far in life. And they killed him as he was shopping for whatever, jet skis, motorcycles, who knows, $50,000. They killed him. They didn't even get to spend the money. They just took pictures with the money. And now they have life sentences. And this was major when it happened. This hit home to a lot of people, even people that weren't fans. He got killed where he was from. He was from Broward County. And that's exactly where he got killed at. And he wasn't a street rapper. He wasn't a gangster rapper. He wasn't a shooter. He wasn't none of that. And to be honest, he has a friend named Tankhead who got sentenced to mad long in prison for a murder. And one can only wonder what's gonna happen when he comes across one of the 3 killers that still remain in Florida State Prison. But let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section. Do you agree with one of the killers getting released on probation? Do you feel that a split sentence like that is just? Technically, he got 27 years, but it's 7 in, 20 out. Do you feel he should be out? Do you feel that because he was a minimal participant, that it's fine? He served what he should have served? Let me know what y'all think. Is 1090J?
I don't know. He didn't pull the trigger, but he was a part of it. Most definitely. I think the judge is being very, very generous, like beyond generous. But man, this is just sad, bro. It's just one of those things what could have been, X, Juice, Pop Smoke. Man. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.